It's time for Takes on Takes, the episode where we give our take on your take today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started.
Joe, have you ever had a hay fire around you?
No.
Like the bales of hay, they catch on fire?
No.
A couple miles from my house, there's a hay fire that's been going on for about a week.
A week?
It's like, you know how they stack all the bales of hay, right?
Familiar, yeah.
Somehow, some way, shape, or form, the bales of hay have caught on fire. And it's been such you think about it, it's a lot of volume of flammable product, right? And it's a lot of it stacked on top. Like it's been a week of ongoing, like every time you drive by, there's white smoke billowing from the hay fire.
Yeah. I feel like in driving from the airport to your house, I feel like there's maybe some type of statue of hay that's built, if I'm not mistaken, where it's it's like some type of character. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe a scarecrow.
Oh yeah, it's the Halloween.
Yeah. Is it this place that's struggling,
or right up the road from there? Yeah.
Ah, careful. Yeah. Okay. I'm not taking the bait though on this fire conversation.
No. I'm not, and it's funny because we had a story about fires in the pre-show, but that has nothing to do with this. This was generally my daughter asks about the hay fire every morning because we have to drive past it to take her to preschool.
She won't forget it ever. You know how that goes?
Where's the hay fire? I said, we're not there yet.
Oh boy.
I said, there it is. She says, there it is. And then she'll ask if the hay fire is going to go out. And I say, I don't know. It's been about a week and a half. The hay fire is not going out yet. So
yeah, I'm no expert in containing hay fires, but it feels like that should be, able to get under control. But hopefully it does. Hopefully it does for all the.
It seems to not be like a safety threat anymore. It's just like, I guess you got to let it ride.
Yeah. All right. Well,
with the Northern Light, did you catch the Northern Light? You were probably too far south for the Northern
Light.
No,
a lot of people in my neighborhood sharing photographs of it. I didn't go outside and do it. Maybe I should have.
I missed it.
Yeah,
I'm a little mad because some of those photos are spectacular.
They're really good. Yeah. So, in what I understand is, at least in my neighborhood, you only could see it through your phone. So that kind of made it like, okay, so I can't just go look at this. I have to put a lens on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I can look at pictures of anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that didn't get me off the couch. While I was watching me foolishly predict the Seahawks to beat the 49ers last night. So,
well, they didn't help themselves with an explosive play touchdown. Laviska Shenault. What was the safety doing on them?
Brother. It's very, very disappointing. And my night is.
He thought he was throwing the ball away, I guess. He said, there's nobody else out here who could catch this ball. I'm just going to go chase it down. Oh, Deebo Samuel's got it.
There's nothing worse than like not actually caring who wins a game, but then because you have some type of reason to care, you're out rooting for a team that you really don't care about. Now you're taking the L as a fan that you really don't care about the team. Yeah. That was me with the 12s last night. I was like, why is this happening to me? I don't need this turmoil in my life.
Shenault spotted him a solid 3 with the fumble.
Yes.
Is the worst case scenario start for Seattle between the interception.
I know we were moving the ball. We converted some third downs. I'm like, all right, baby, let's go. Yep. Nope. All right. Takes on takes. Let's do it. Von Tell's up first. And he says, as excellent as Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Chris Jones are, Dexter Lawrence is the best defensive player in the league right now. And I'm not even sure that it's close. P.S. Told you I was back, Kyle.
What's I told you because he's proved he's back with multiple takes, or is the told you because this is a hot take? I don't know how hot this take is.
Maybe both. Maybe both. Is Dexter Lawrence the best defensive player in the NFL?
And he's spectacular, isn't he?
He's a tier 1 defensive player. Yes, I agree.
I think in any given week he could play like the best defensive player in football. I think the full body of work, if you look at a full season sample size, I think there's guys that will probably finish ahead of him. But like, if any given week you were like, man, Dexter Lawrence was the guy in the NFL who like took over a game defense, I'd be like, yeah, I could see it.
Sure. I think he's got good names there. Garrett, Watt, Jones. I think Fred Warner's part of this. I think Patrick Surtain.
Fred Warner had a couple spectacular plays last night, didn't he?
Good player, yeah. So yeah, tier 1 NFL defensive player, Dexter Lawrence.
But who's your Mount Rushmore of NFL defensive players right now? So you only get 4.
That's such a loaded question.
I don't care. I don't care. I'll give you mine as I think about it.
Myles Garrett.
TJ Watt has to be on the list.
It might be Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Chris Jones, and Dexter Lawrence. It might be the exact
make it all start.
Well, yeah, but sure, because I care most about those players. But again, I do think that Fred Warner and I do think that Patrick Surtain are part of this as well. It's just I don't know. I'm never going to bump off. I know I'm not going to bump off a defensive lineman because I think they're the most important players on the defense.
Well, it's not a team building exercise. It's just who are the most.
I know that, but I still understand that. Like I'm always going to bias towards them.
All right.
Do you have yours? Did you like to give yours?
Fred Warner would be on mine. Okay. TJ Watt would be on mine. Myles Garrett would probably be on mine. Probably Chris Jones.
All right.
Probably.
So you're bumping out Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, get him out of here. I just got done saying it. Yeah, he might be right now, but doesn't make the full season Mount Rushmore for defense.
Which is exactly why we gravitate towards tiers as opposed to rankings.
Yeah, I hate 1 through whatever.
Brentley Weissman has this one for us.
What's up, dude?
And I have a lot to say about it, so I'm going to give it, and then I'm going to actually respond to it, and then if I can go first,
I'll shut up. I'll see you in a minute.
You can. Yeah. Okay. The full Kyle experience. 90% of the takes Kyle goes first. I just wanted to have this one for myself. Brentley says the take is that Luke Kuechly should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I want to tell you that I fully agree with this. Man, I think Luke Kuechly was probably my favorite non-defensive lineman on defense that I've ever watched in my life. 8 seasons in the NFL, 7-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro. The only season he wasn't an All-Pro or a Pro Bowler, he was a Defensive Rookie of the Year. He does have a Defensive Player of the Year award under his belt. He's part of the 2010s All-Decade team. I know that the qualifier here is if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I understand that he would be a Hall of Famer, but does he have to wait? And that was the case with Patrick Willis. Patrick Willis had to wait 5 years before he got in. But predictively, I'm not sure that he will be. But the question is, or the take is, that he should be. And I'm here to tell you that I think he should be. And Kyle, hopefully you're ready to chime in on this because I'd love your opinion.
Yes.
That's what you have?
I think it's just for the same reason that we just gassed up Fred Warner. Like Luke Kuechly was that, but like to the umpteenth degree, right? Just and you hear other players who played against him or played with him talk about the detail-oriented nature of how he's able to pick things out 40% of the time. I forget who had the quote, but it's like he was calling out like 40% of our plays.
Yeah.
And it's that level of instinct and preparation. And I know people like to dog on Zach Thomas as a linebacker, but like that's what made Zach Thomas great too. And Zach Thomas obviously wasn't a first ballot player, but he played in a different era. Luke Kuechly's resume is more impressive than Zach Thomas's. It speaks for itself. Yes, I think he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Will he? Probably not, right? If Patrick Willis waited 5 years, there's not much of a case to tell you that.
Luke Kuechly, I think Luke Kuechly has a much better resume than Patrick Willis.
We'll see.
Like if you ask me in real time when those guys were playing to stack them up, I would take Luke Kuechly.
All right, let's not be late to break, but we got so much good stuff here, folks. Be sure to stick with us.
All right, let's go.
With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows you to get the rates and perks that are usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn a rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 per month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less in a 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. And PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy, so that way your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets hurt. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game.
Real quick, did you catch Vanderbilt put out like a 10-minute video?
That's too long, but yeah, what's up?
You should watch it.
10 minutes?
Yeah. It's like the behind the scenes this past week leading up to them.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought it was going to be like 10 minutes of celebration. Yeah, okay. I'm down for that.
And it was like the coach talking to the team at the beginning of the week, talking to his team in the pregame, like a look at practice, and then like the actual game, the effort to beat Alabama. And like the way he talked to his players and the confidence that he had. He called his shot on Sunday, said, we know the breakout's coming, so it might as well be this week. Let's do this, like goosebumps.
I'm excited to see this. And I recognize the magnitude of the moment. This feels a little App State, Michigan to me, and that's not the same. Like Vanderbilt is an SEC team. I understand that they're like not a powerhouse or anything like that, but like at some point this can't be an App State moment.
Oh, I mean, Vanderbilt was also 0-60 all time against top 5 opponents.
I get it. They're a bad SEC team, but they're an SEC team, though. You know, I'm excited to watch it.
You're trying to set the culture of your program.
I get it. No, I get it.
Around.
They should celebrate it. It should be a big deal, but like, they're still an SEC team. You know,
Nick Saban just dunked on him 2 weeks ago after I got done complimenting Nick Saban, he got old takes exposed by Vanderbilt.
Right. Happens. We've all been out old takes exposed.
We have.
Casey, the NFL's new dynamic kickoff, has not produced the level of action the league was hoping to provoke. So far, 63.5% of kickoffs have resulted in touchbacks, which is a slight decrease from last season's 73%. Next season, a touchback will bring the ball back to the 40-yard line.
I don't think they're going to make the leap to the 40. I think they'll go to the 35.
You think they should?
Yes. If you want to facilitate kickoffs, you need to keep moving it up, keep moving touchbacks up until.
Do you want to facilitate? Do you personally want this?
The league wants to facilitate kickoffs. So unless you're just going to get rid of the play and just give the team a ball at the 30-yard line.
We had this conversation. We did an entire show on this thing, and we said, you know what? We think they're just going to be a bunch of touchbacks because of 30.
So I'm not surprised at all because the risk, the reward was not worth the risk.
Yeah. All right.
So from a kickoff perspective, I don't know. It was Seattle had a disaster class. And they had that one that bounced at the 1 and rolled into the end zone, and then they got to bring it out, and they got tackled inside the 10-yard line. Like,
yeah.
So until teams, it was a great kick by San Francisco, to be fair, too. And then Brandon Aubrey is doing an awesome job of like putting kicks in play, but like the trajectory of the kick.
Yeah, you can do that stuff. It matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, but a lot of teams just kind of thumb the nose at kickers, right? And it's been the forgotten phase of the game, and we don't want to lose a game in this regard, so we're not going to stick our neck out here and do it. So until that penalty for touchbacks is more severe, and I think they'll do it incrementally. I don't think they'll leap 10 yards. That feels like too big of a jump.
Agree. I think 35 is what'll happen.
Yeah. But I'm not surprised that it's been like this. And like you said, when we talked about it, it's like, I don't know. It's the 30,
yes.
like
especially as I mean, the Bills gave up. The Bills, you could tell they wanted to be a team that was going to force kickoff returns. Then the first game of the year, DJ Dallas houses one on them.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not doing this, right?
That's enough of that.
Get out of here with that.
Almost cost us the game, right?
This guy's not even fast, He's sitting out there, a little pudgy, going down the field. Cap Beefico 22 says the Vikings are well coached by KOC, but Darnold and Flores are a house of cards.
Sam, maybe. I don't think Brian Flores.
Sam
Brian
Darnold
Flores
for the last game and a half has went back to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely factual. And it's like, thank God you got on top of him early.
Well, you're 5 to the good, man. You're 5-0. It's
right.
a good spot to be. Flores, house of cards.
The resume as a defensive coach, is outstanding. And he's added to it. Right, that was the question: is what can you add off of what you did last year? And I think they've added a lot of extra while keeping the same post-snap processing, but high pressure, dictating terms, forcing you into a defensive posture as an offense. And then you could drop the Tampa 2 out of it. That's really good.
And I think it's been a big deal that they had such a turnover with the roster defensively to kind of get some more corners in there, like Griffin and
the edge
Gilmore.
Rehall.
Yeah, with his types of guys. I think that's mattered a lot in this formula as well. Next one here from Cooper. I don't think this will be hard to agree on. He says the NFC North is pardon?
Cooper DeJean?
No, just maybe. This is just Cooper. The NFC North is currently the best division in the NFL, and it's not close. The fourth place team will finish with a winning record, and an NFC North team will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. So I didn't actually read the last sentence, but I agree. The NFC North is the best division in football, right?
Yes.
That's not close. Fourth place team will have a winning record.
That's happened once.
Right.
It's happened once, and it was last year.
So we're looking at the Bears potentially as the worst team in this division.
I would assume so.
They beat Jacksonville. They're 4-2. So you think that they're going to be 3 games below? I mean, that'd be tough, Kyle.
Hold on, I'm going to do the thing. We've seen plenty of teams start 4-2 and not have winning records.
I understand that
Jacksonville started 8-3 and finished with losing.
I know, but that team finished 7-10 last year with worse talent.
All right, Jacksonville in London. Didn't we both pick Jacksonville?
Right, so that gets them to 4-2.
No, did you pick Jacksonville or you pick Chicago?
I picked Chicago. I tried to debate you to get. I'm pretty sure, right? Good Lord. Imagine thinking I knew what I...
talk about Jacksonville being used to playing in London was their big advantage in the game?
Hold on. I'm going to this pick sheet. And no, we both picked Jacksonville.
Okay. So don't do that.
It's not a guaranteed win, though.
Okay.
I mean, the Bears could win that game.
They could, but let's assume that we picked the game right, which we haven't done all that much this year. We're about a couple games over 500 apiece.
Sure, yeah. We're the authorities here to navigate this and give you the definitive answer.
At Washington.
I don't know.
Okay, so now losable game. Winnable game, but losable game.
Are they playing that? Are they having a bye?
They have a bye week.
Okay, so out of the bye against the Commanders, you'd like to think you can win that game, right?
It's in Washington.
Okay.
At Arizona.
Feel good about that.
New England.
Sure. That's 4 winnable games in a row, Kyle Crabbs.
Okay, now here's the dirty little secret. They have not played a single NFC North game yet.
Okay.
So we're Green Bay, Minnesota, at Detroit, at San Francisco, at Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, at Green Bay.
They're not going to lose all those games.
They're not. Wow, what a sales pitch for the Bears. They're not going to lose all those games.
But really, what do you know about Chicago right now? You know what I mean? We're still learning a lot about that team, what that defense is fully going to be. Correct. Can Caleb Williams maintain the incremental steps that he's taken to this point?
They've produced a ton of turnovers defensively this year. They deserve credit for that. They only have 1 game this year where they didn't force multiple turnovers defensively. Solid, as you would expect with Eberflus and the investments that they made in the secondary. It's pretty good pass defense. I don't know. I think the variability. I would sell on them having a winning record at the end of the year.
I can't. This is what this. You're hung up on this to the point where we're navigating this entire schedule. For Cooper, he had 3 takes. NFC North is the best division in football.
Yes.
The 4th place team will have a winning record.
No.
And the NFC representative will come from the NFC North in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it's all possible. I think he's got a good take here. I think it's an achievable take.
It's an achievable.
You agree with
to give our take on the take. That's the whole point of takes on takes.
I disagree with your take on the take. I think he's got a good chance of all this happening.
Great.
Kyle the Commish, besides quarterback, the most devastating mid-game injury a team can have is to their kicker. Right.
I went out here and watched wide receivers kick extra points. Like, come on.
Well, I definitely agree that there's like something very challenging about losing your kicker, and it changes. Like now, all of a sudden, your 4th downs, your extra points, it all becomes very strange. But like, don't sit here and tell me that losing your kicker is more important than like if you lose like his franchise left tackle or this like elite pass rusher or like your number 1 receiver. Like, I don't know. I can't get there.
I think the argument is, well, there's other people that can do that job. Whereas
I get that.
There's theoretically no one else that could do the job. So I get like where he's coming from, but like,
which NFL head coach, if they start the game, you said pause, every game has to stop.
Your kickers went on strike.
Well, no, let's say you start a game, right? And every kicker, every NFL team had to say, okay, one player on your roster can't go the rest of this game. You think a single one of them is picking their kicker? You think a single one is going to pick their kicker?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's thoughtful. I don't agree with the take.
They're going to pick a 4th safety.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we have like so many good ones to get to. We will do that on the other side of it, folks. Be sure to stick with us. Hey, NFL fans, you could start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Joe at work, Xavier McKinney could break the record for the most interceptions in a season, and he still would not win Defensive Player of the Year.
I find that very hard to believe.
Especially because
it's like 13, 14.
I'm sure it is something like that. So if Aiden Hutchinson has 15 sacks this year, I think he's saying that McKinney wouldn't win it. He's got 5 so far through 5 games.
He would need 15 interceptions to break the record.
15 interceptions. Xavier McKinney is your Defensive Player of the Year.
There's no question.
Yeah, it's unanimous. It's unanimous.
I mean, that's an astronomical. And look, dude's got 5 already. Props.
Take. He won't get 15.
Yeah, seems like a good take.
Thank you. Yeah, 15 interceptions. He's going to be the unanimous consensus Defensive Player of the Year.
And if he's not, we need to go somewhere. Pro Football Writers Association and knock on some doors and have some strongly worded conversations.
First and Fins, Budda Baker has the highest AAV of any safety scheduled to hit the free agent market in 2025 at $14.75 million AAV. Take, no safety, will top that number, and only 2 will break the $10 million per year mark, despite some bigger names hitting the market. And he's supplied this names. This is a very good list of names. So again, the qualifiers, you only have 2 that top 10 million APY.
And none goes over Budda's.
Yep. Budda Baker, Javon Holland, Andre Sisco, Justin Reed, Trayvon Merrick, Justin Simmons, Tyrann Mathieu, Jason Pinnock, Talanoa Funga, Derek Forrest, Marcus Epps, Jeremy Chin, Julian Blackman, Cam Bynum, Richie Grant, Von Bell, Jordan Fuller, Condre Diggs. So he thinks only 2.
Hey, can we give a round of applause for this take? Just like it's our kind of conversation.
Right. Super good.
It's well researched. He provides us with the names so we don't have to go looking for them.
Right. Yeah. Amazing job.
First and Fins, thank you.
Yeah.
Take of the day? Or takey? Is this our takey?
Yeah, this is it. This is the one.
This is the takey?
Sure.
You get the takey.
Takey to takey.
Takey for take of the week. I don't know. Let's pretend like we don't know that Xavier McKinney has 5 interceptions right now. We knew he was a good player in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Did we think he was this player in New York?
No, quality starting safety, right?
And how much did he get?
Do you have that off the top of your head?
It's like 16 and change.
Right.
So it's more than Budda Baker.
16.75.
Right. So I think I'm going to fade the take just based off of we have the cap's going to be higher than it was last year. And Xavier McKinney is probably a player that would you put him on par with Javon Holland? And Javon hasn't been particularly good this year so far. He's out here hunting picks and big plays.
I think there's 4 players that are in the conversation. Okay, it's Budda Baker, Javon Holland, Andre Sisco, and Justin Reed. So did 2 of them get 10 million APY?
Yes.
I don't think Justin Reed. I think it would have to be Baker and Holland. The point is, I think he's pretty close on this.
I think he's close, but I will say
I think
do not think this is a fully factual take.
You think?
I think either you get 3 or somebody goes above Budda.
Okay. The next one here, one very near and dear to my heart, from the great Sam Teets. He says football games are horribly scheduled for East Coasters. You have Thursday night football that runs till 11:30 or midnight. Friday college games that can run from 7 until 2 in the morning. Saturday college football runs from noon until 1:30 a.m. and on Sunday, plus NFL on Sunday and Monday night football. I think he's absolutely correct, and I have data. 48% of the United States lives in the Eastern time zone. 29% lives in the Central time zone. 7% Mountain. 16% Pacific. Why is this optimized worst for the largest percentage of your fan base?
Because that's when they're going to be home to watch.
Kyle, it's a battle for me every single primetime game to make it through.
Yeah, you sit there about 10 minutes into the not 10 minutes of game clock, 10 minutes of like real-time clock into the second half, and you're going to make a decision. You say, am I going to make it? Or do I have to catch up and watch the rest of it in the morning?
Right. Most of the times I'm doing that, catching up in the morning.
So if you could pick any of the 4 time zones, not for other reasons, but just for football reasons, you take
not all the post-game work that goes into it afterwards.
Right. Are you and not for like I want to live in Montana and live on the doorstep?
Yeah, solely for yeah.
Are you doing Mountain or are you doing Pacific? Because we're not doing Eastern.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Mountain's the peak. 7% of people have the peak times of watching football.
And we've been there for football season, right?
Oh,
and
it's the weirdest thing in the world.
Arizona doesn't observe daylight savings time, like the only state that doesn't observe. So like they don't change the clocks. So half the year they're in Mountain and half the year they're in Pacific time zone.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough for us over here on the East Coast trying to make it to the end. Sorry. I mean, I like to wake up early.
It's first world problems, but
I hear you.
It is hard.
And especially, Bills play on primetime. It's 3. I'm not getting to sleep till 3. So, weekly huddle. I'm entirely out on Carson Beck. Lack of out of structure play and mobility. At best, he's Tua. Probably ends up a Derek Carr level player. Will be just good enough to get paid, but always looking for more. I'm letting someone else tie their job for him, especially in the first round.
Derek Carr's a lot better athlete than
Tua. Okay. Is he going to be a mid-level starting quarterback in the NFL that's going to always leave you hungry and that you as a GM wouldn't want to hitch your wagon to this guy?
Aren't most quarterbacks that?
You don't have to pick them.
But you need an alternative. I'm not going to sit here and demonize like stable quarterback play in the NFL, which I think he can provide.
Wouldn't you? Okay, but a first round investment. Would you rather roll the dice with somebody on day 2? Would you rather just get some veteran? I'm telling you, if I'm going to pick a quarterback in the first round, I am going to be in love with them. If I was a general manager, I'd have to be in love with them.
It's not that simple all the time.
I know that, but that would be my best laid plans until my owner said you have to pick a quarterback. And then you pick EJ Manuel.
Carson Beck like he's Mac Jones.
I've never watched a guy play through the scouting lens. I don't have any takes on Carson Beck. I'm talking about mid-level, those types of guys.
Was there not once upon a time we thought Derek Carr, like you could win a lot of games with Derek Carr?
Right. I'm just, and I'd be happy to get Derek Carr at a certain point, but it wouldn't be. I'm just saying, like, you're going to pick this guy in the top 10.
No, that's not the conversation. The conversation is first round.
Okay. If a quarterback's not worth picking in the top 10, you don't pick him in the first round. There's my take.
Lamar Jackson.
Should have went in the top 10. Not my fault. That didn't happen.
Jordan Love.
What if Jordan Love doesn't sit for 4 years?
He did, so it doesn't matter.
It's about what you got to do the right things with him. But
what's that saying? If ifs and buts were candy nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah, something like that. Richard says not drafted as high, but Najee Harris is Trent Richardson 2.0.
Come on now. I just watched really wholesome Trent or Najee Harris content with Pat Freiermuth at the Penguins game.
Wow. And
it's the most I've liked Najee Harris in like 3 years.
Najee Harris has been objectively better than Trent Richardson, right?
Correct.
Like so maybe you don't love Najee Harris, but that's nuts. He's not blind.
Trent's issues were the vision and not being able to process coming out of the mesh point and understand where it's supposed to hit runs. Najee can do that. I just think Najee lacks the explosiveness and burst to create explosive plays. And I don't think he has good contact balance, but being able to get off the tracks with lateral quickness and create yards for himself is an uphill battle at times.
Last one of the day, August says cranberry sauce is a bottom-tier Thanksgiving side dish. It is there only for tradition's sake, and there are much better options to add sweetness, candied yams, and acidity, balsamic glazed Brussels sprouts to your Thanksgiving meal.
So this was the runner-up for the takey because he also did the research and gave us alternatives.
Right. We always appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, don't leave us on an island with just a statement because then we got to interpret it, and we're probably not going to interpret it the way that you wanted us to. I don't really conduct cranberry sauce anymore. I used to. I could take it or leave it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
Here's my take on cranberry sauce. I don't eat it. And I don't know if it's good or not because I've never tried it and I have no interest in trying it. It looks disgusting to me.
It's like solidified jelly. It's just like eating jelly. But it tastes like cranberries. So there's some sourness.
Cranberries are mid, right? Like I don't need anything cranberry flavored. It's not good.
I'm trying to think of the best cranberry flavored thing. Like, I don't even like cranberry juice.
Right. But people have like cranberry flavored ginger ale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any of this. I don't want any of this. So I don't know if it's good or not, but I'm not interested in trying it because
what is your worst Thanksgiving side dish? It's like you're repulsed when you see it on the table.
Oh, repulsed.
Yeah.
You can miss me with deviled eggs. That looks disgusting too.
No,
I know there's people that love them.
There's
people that love them. Those are not for me. What is it like? An egg that's been you take it. It's now mixed with mustard and mayonnaise and pickles, and now we're gonna
whip it.
Come on, man. What are we doing
on the top?
No. Pretzel. People in my neck of the woods say be having pretzel salad. That looks horrible to me as well.
Yeah, dude. That's the worst Thanksgiving side.
It's pretzels. It's pretzels, whipped cream, and like strawberries. I don't know. Like it looks terrible to me. I'm not eating that. Those would be some of my bottom tier. And the cranberry sauce. I mean, it just looks nasty to me. Looks like somebody sliced a heart and.
Yeah, but you can't definitively say that it is because you don't know.
I know that the cranberry flavored things are gross, and the texture and appearance of cranberry sauce looks terrible to me.
Where do you stand on ambrosia salad?
I don't know what that is.
That's like the cut up fruit with the marshmallows.
I don't need marshmallows mixed with fruit. No, miss me.
Corn pudding.
I mean, there's some like cream corn out there that's really good, man. So I'm down with that.
All right. Before we get too far off the rails, I'm sitting here scrolling through Thanksgiving side dishes. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Kyle Crabbs. He's Joe Marino. We appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Enjoy the football that is coming your way this weekend. You can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. We'll be back on Monday to break down all the action that takes place and unfolds. We hope to see you then.